Welcome to another episode of Agentic AI, the future of intelligent systems. Today's topic is cybersecurity in the age of Agentic AI, and more specifically, what happens when AI systems are given permissions to act. Because this is where things start to shift, not just in how AI works, but in how systems can fail. Agentic AI is rapidly moving from experimentation into real world systems. These are no longer models that just generate responses. They are reading data, triggering workflows, calling API, updating systems, and in some cases, making decisions on their own. Which means AI is no longer just part of the interface, it is becoming part of the execution layer. And that's exactly why this topic matters now. Because the moment AI starts acting, it introduces a completely new kind of risk. Earlier, the concern was simple: what if the answer is wrong? Now, the question is very different. What if the action is wrong? Because a wrong answer is a mistake, a wrong action is an incident. To understand this shift, it helps to follow how an agent actually operates. Because the risk doesn't appear in isolation, it builds as the system moves from input to decision to action. It starts with something simple: an input, a prompt, a message, a signal coming into the system. At this stage, everything looks normal. But this is where one of the most powerful attack vectors exists: prompt injection, an instruction that doesn't look malicious, but is designed to change how the agent behaves. It might tell the agent to ignore previous rules, or to reveal something it shouldn't, or to prioritize a different objective altogether. Nothing is broken, but everything is redirected. From there, the agent begins to reason. It tries to understand intent, decide what needs to be done, and plan the next step. And this is where things get even more subtle. Because now the attack is not just on the input, but on the context. If the agent relies on memory, retrieved data, or previous interactions, that context can be poisoned. And once that happens, the agent is no longer reasoning incorrectly, it is reasoning confidently, but on the wrong foundation. Once that direction is set, the agent reaches out to the world around it. It connects to tools, API, databases, enterprise systems, and this is where capability turns into exposure. Because if an agent has access to these systems, an attacker doesn't need direct access anymore. They just need to get the agent to act on their behalf. Query sensitive data, trigger workflows, call services. The agent becomes the pathway. And then comes execution, the point where everything becomes real. This is where permissions matter the most. Because an agent doesn't just execute logic, it executes authority. If it has been given broad access, it can act far beyond what was originally intended, approving something it shouldn't, modifying systems it shouldn't, taking actions without the right boundaries. And this is exactly where a new model of thinking becomes essential: a zero trust approach to agentic AI. Because in a world where agents can act, you can't assume that just because the agent is internal, it is safe. Every action must be verified, every permission must be scoped, every request, no matter where it comes from, must be treated with caution. And what makes this even more critical is what happens after the action. Because when something goes wrong, the hardest part is often not fixing it, it's understanding it. Why did the agent take that decision? What influenced it? What chain of reasoning led to that outcome? If that visibility is missing, you're not just dealing with failure, you're dealing with a system you cannot fully trust. Now connect all of this together. A crafted input influences behavior. Compromised context alters reasoning. The agent uses tools it shouldn't, executes actions it shouldn't, and no one fully understands why. This is why agentic AI fundamentally changes cybersecurity. Because the risk is not at a single point, it is a chain. And each step in that chain can be influenced. Traditional security models were not designed for this. They were built for systems that follow clear, predictable instructions. Agentic systems don't. They interpret goals, they adapt, they decide, they act, which means security can no longer be static. It cannot sit outside the system. It has to move with it at every stage, at every decision, at every action. Because once AI has permissions, it has power. And power without control is where systems begin to fail. Agentic AI is a powerful shift. It changes how software operates, how decisions are made, and how work gets done. But it also introduces a new level of responsibility because now your systems don't just process information, they take action. And the real question going forward isn't just what can AI do? It's what should it be allowed to do and under what control? Until next time, keep rethinking what intelligent systems should be.